What's up, Green Screens Media Universe? This is your boy, Mike Holland at MC Holland34, bringing you a Tuesday live before lock for college basketball's DraftKings slate. It's an 8-gamer, $12 entry, $2,000 to first place, along with a bunch of other contests. So if you haven't joined us before, man, we've been out here in these streets for a couple of years now, making things happen early this year. And I'm glad you guys could join us as BD816 has already jumped in here talking about the slate, saying it's tough pricing tonight, and absolutely could not agree with you. But do us a favor, if you're new here, go ahead and hit that like and subscribe button. I believe we're up to 1,238 subscribers. So if we can get a couple more subscribers, we would absolutely love it. And we're bringing you all kinds of content. We did a ton of off-season content, interviewed a bunch of coaches. We're covering the sport year-round, so make sure you stay locked in with us. This is the DFS shows that we bring to you during the season, as well as we're doing some spaces with myself and Chris, and then you'll see a bunch of 3 and 4 boxes, even 2 boxes with Jay and Eric as well. So if you want to ask a question, make sure you hit that subscribe button. Toss them out because there are a lot of questions on this slate that we're going to go over. Like I said, it's 8-game slate here, $12 buy-in, $2K to first. There's still some slots available in that. And if it's your first time playing CBB, don't get discouraged on this particular slate. It is a tougher slate. There are a lot of blowouts on the slate here, a lot of tight pricing, and I think that has to do with DK finally getting the algorithm somewhat correct here. So no more free pump plays at 3K or 3.8 with guys that have 30% usage rates. We're gonna have to get a little crafty this time to make some things happen. So I'm looking forward to it. Again, hit that like and subscribe button, and let's not waste any time. We're going to get out of here by about 5:40. Your boy's still got lineups he's got to make, and some money hopefully coming in later on tonight. So having said that, let's jump in. We got the first game here. Lipscomb plus 17 at Kentucky. It is a 155-point implied total. All of the metrics that we use are from KenPom. These were from earlier today. So looking here at the Lipscomb side, they're implied for 69 points. It is a pace-up spot. They are 156th in tempo. Kentucky is 24th in tempo. Lipscomb also plays a very tight rotation, 313th in bench minutes. But they get a tough Kentucky defense. Just a couple of names here to kind of talk about. Jacob Ognosevich, he is the forward, the double-double machine. He's 7,900. A 28% usage rate, a 28% shot rate, and 30% combined rebounding rate. But he doesn't produce a lot of stocks, and this is also a very, very tough matchup inside. So I will probably not be playing Ognosevich tonight. Same can probably be said for Will Pruitt, who's at 7,500. If you want to use these guys in the tournament, by all means, there are 980 entrants tonight. And there's no clear path to anything, really. But these are tough guys to get to, especially when you consider some of the defenders that are going to be out there on these guys, like a Lamont Butler, like an Amari Williams. So with Will Pruitt, he's 7,500. He's going to be on the floor for 35-plus minutes. Didn't pay off this price tag at Arkansas or at Western Kentucky, which were a tier A and B game on the KenPom metrics here. So just not too interested in Will Pruitt, even though he's going to be out there for quite a bit of time here. If you think Lipscomb keeps it close, keeps it under 10 for the whole game, you may want to take a look at him. A couple other guys that mentioned Powell, he's 4,800. He's a guard, kind of that all cardio 2 guard. When you look at his rates, they're all pretty underwhelming. So not too much interest in Powell. But Dylan Faulkner at 4,400, he's a forward. He got the start last game. He's a high usage player with a high shot rate, solid rates across the board. He hasn't played more than 19 minutes this year, missed the first couple of games as well. So you gotta be careful here with Dylan Faulkner, but we're scrounging around for value. If you're building maybe a game stack, a couple of Kentucky guys, you want to run it back with one without paying for the expensive guys. This is a way to get into the game with high usage. Just don't expect anything more than maybe 20 minutes. So this game in general, probably not one I'm playing too many plays from. Kentucky is implied for 86 points. Lipscomb is giving up 56% from 2-point land. Kentucky's also 25th in bench minutes used. So they run a bunch of guys out there. We covered these guys all offseason. They're 10, 11 deep. Amari Williams is a forward. He's at 8,200. He's an absolute rate monster, but the minutes aren't really there for him. He could absolutely smash these guys in limited minutes, kind of like when we talked about Janai Broom yesterday. He get on the glass. He'll be able to block shots. They're Limpscomb's here is 273rd in opponent shot block rate. So I wouldn't be surprised if we looked up and we saw Mario Williams with 12 points, 12 boards, and 5 blocks. So it wouldn't shock me at all. He is in my tournament player pool. Otega Owe is 7,400. He's priced up after the Duke game. He played 31 minutes in that one, but only played 19 minutes in the blowout. So against Bucknell. So if this is a blowout, I wouldn't expect to see Owe out there for more than 22, 23, 24 minutes. And that's really going to limit his upside at this price point. Everything else, really, Kobe Bryant, Butler, they're kind of cross-offs for me. I mean, I know they can get there if they hit a lot of threes, or if Butler, gets 3 or 4 steals and some easy baskets. But the guy that I'm concentrated on down here at the bottom of the Kentucky pricing is going to be Jackson Robinson. He's 5,200. So his price is certainly appealing. He plays mid to high 20 minutes. He can hit a bunch of threes. So I do have tournament interest because he could go out there and put up 28 fantasy points pretty quickly if he's able to nail 4 or 5 3-pointers. So Jackson Robinson's certainly interesting here. Looks like Cam jumping in the chat here. Thanks for putting together a quick overview for the breadheads. Mike, Jackson Robinson is DJ Wagner. Yeah, I was running pretty hot up there at the beginning. I had a ton of Arkansas stacks when the news came out that the 2 bigs weren't going to play. And yeah, it was just a matter of time. DJ Wagner was going. I mean, he's not going to play 38 minutes and not have a game where he goes for 35, 40. And it was last night. So I didn't have as much as I wanted to. Part of that is just, when you play DJ Wagner, you know probably what's going to happen. Full-time 20 jumping in here. Pricing's gnarly. Need to spend the value wheel tonight. Yeah, full-time. I've been thinking about this all day. I don't like some of the builds that I've been building. I'm not into a lot of dirt cheap options. I'm going to a lot of the Florida and Ohio State, like lower mid-price guys. We'll talk about that here in just a second. Maker 23 workbench jumping in, bread, goat, and fire. Absolutely, my friend. So make sure you guys hit the like and subscribe button. Try to get us up to over 1240 tonight. We would absolutely appreciate it. Remember to ask a question in the chat or to type something in the chat, which we love to interact with. You got to be subscribed. So help your boys out here. As we move on to Evansville plus 23 at Ohio State 151. Evansville is projected to score 64 points. They are 164th in tempo. Ohio State 208th in tempo. So not much there, but Evansville 355th in bench minutes, meaning we know the guys that are going to be on the floor, which is really nice. Problem is there's a 64 implied total. Feels like one of these guys is going to get to at least 4 to 5X. Cam Hafner, he's 6,200. I mean, he's the most expensive. I don't think I have very much interest in him. I'd rather play the cheaper guys. He only has an 18% usage rate. Not really for me in a tougher matchup. I know Gabriel Posado is getting a lot of steam. 6K. He's absolutely in play. He's a freshman, though. This is a tough matchup. He's got a 28% usage rate and a 29% shot rate. But when you look at it, he doesn't do anything else, and he's kind of turnover prone. So, I'll let some of the people go out there and attack him because I look at the game logs and things like that. Posado, I'm going to have to sprinkle him in, but he's not really a core type play for me. If I get burned by that, I absolutely get burned by it. It's just not really for me. When I look at the game environment, who he's going up against in this total, I don't know that a freshman's going to be able to put up 30 DK points against Ohio State. But if it does, then I'll tip my cap and move on. There's John Hughes for $100 cheaper. I have a little bit of interest here. His minutes are just all over the place. As a tourney option only, he's gone from 18 to 33 this year, 21% usage rate, 25% shot rate, and chips in everywhere else, really. 24% combined rebounding rate, a 16% assist rate, and a 6.5% block rate. Does have to go up against, obviously this tough Ohio State team that beat Texas to start the year. Look pretty good. So slight interest in John Hughes. I think I have a more interest in the pricing of Tanner Cuff and Tayshawn Comer, but I'm not that interested in Cuff because he's not a high usage guy. I need somebody that's going to have some ancillary production. So it's really Tayshawn Comer at 5,300, probably the guy that I have the most interest in. He's a point guard transfer from Eastern Kentucky, and he has a 27% usage rate, a 21% assist rate. He's also the cheapest at 5,300. So we're struggling to find an extra $100, $200, $300, $400, $500, $600, $700 from Posado, even though they're not the same position. And I can get somebody that, is going to have the ball in his hands a ton. I'm kind of interested in Comer here, but These are all kind of secondary guys in a spot where 64 points is implied. Ohio State on the other side, this is a slight pace up for them. The price is very intriguing. On Ohio State side, Evansville is 326 in defensive efficiency, and they are giving it up on the glass. So there's going to be some Ohio State guys when you see this pricing that we're going to want to get to, and I think I'm getting to at least probably 2 in every build, sometimes 3. Like I said, I'm looking at Ohio State and Florida very, very hard on this slate. So Bruce Thornton, 7,700. He's very safe. Don't know that I would use him for tournaments just because if this does get out of hand, right, like if he scores 28 fantasy points at 7,700, you're not really living if guys like Parrish and Johnson go off. So, I might sprinkle him in maybe one tournament team, but really safer for cash here at 7,700 because the performance that he's going to turn in is going to get you at least 25 plus fantasy points. I have a lot more interest here in Micah Parrish at 5,800. He torched Texas for 32 fantasy points, a very wide range of outcomes for him every time he steps on the floor. If he shoots it well and he knocks down threes, he's got the ancillary production to pay off 4 to 5x. So absolutely have Micah Parrish in my tournament player pool, as well as Michi Johnson, who I just can't quit. Price is falling, which means I've been on the wrong side of his DK points here. Only shooting 31% from the floor. I think he's kind of struggling with Parrish taking a lot of shots and with Bruce Thornton being very aggressive to start the year. So if he gets any kind of positive regression here on the field goal percentage and he gets a couple of steals, like he could easily go for 4x here. So absolutely liking it, especially when he's chucking 10 shots a game. That's okay, especially at 5,500. You don't mind that. So guys that I'm really heavily interested in as well are Aaron Bradshaw, 5,200. He's a value piece because of that price tag. And he's playing low 20s minutes, but he's got 6x upside. Just look at the Youngstown State game. This is a very good spot for him. I'll be using him for sure in tournaments, as well as John Mobley. This game gets out of hand. This guy's been great. Freshman, 22% usage rate, 27% shot rate, 17% assist rate. He's going to play 18 to 22 minutes. Can probably try to squeeze out 4x for you. So very, very interested in this Ohio State team that has an 87 implied total. Their guys are going to see solid minutes here. So, yeah, we'll see if it's enough. I've got to get my Ohio State Buckeyes shirt out as well as my Florida Gators shirts out tonight if I'm going 2-0-3-0 on these sides. So, hey, once again, hit those like and subscribe buttons. We got some more people in the chat here. Scott Gill, balanced builds for the win tonight. Yeah, Scott, my first 2 builds, I'm actually not as worried. I know the thing that we all want to do is like, we got to find the value play. Like there's this 3K guy from Florida A&M. Like we got to play him so we can play Braden Smith. But if Braden Smith scores 45 and the Florida A&M guy scores 6, like, and I get 2 guys, obviously, that drop 30 fantasy points in the at the 6K range, then it's all kind of a wash. I'm ahead essentially, or a wash in most cases. So this is a Amari Williams game. Might get a triple-double. Okay. Peanut Butter Posse. I love that. Whoa, Peanut Butter Posse's off the burner account. Yeah, he absolutely is. So all right here, guys. So if you, like I said, hit that like and subscribe button. I think we're still chilling at 12:39. So appreciate whoever jumped in there and hit that subscribe button for us. We absolutely appreciate it. Got about 33 minutes here, 23 minutes here, so we got to kind of speed this one up. And this is kind of a catch-up game here. So Cincinnati plus 14 at Northern Kentucky, 136 implied total. This is a slower game, 2 really good defenses. Cincinnati's 266th in tempo, 13th in defensive efficiency. Northern Kentucky is 252nd in tempo, 86th in defense. They've played Purdue and Florida State. So I don't mind that top 100 defense when he played, those 2 teams already. The prices are steep. I don't know that I'm interested in anybody up at the top for Cincinnati, especially with the news that Dede Thomas may come back. May take shots on Dylan Mitchell and Aziz Bandego. They're kind of in that mid 6K range. So Dylan Mitchell's at 6,600. The rates are a little bit higher for him this year with the Cincinnati team. He's actually taking threes. He hasn't made one. But he has obviously some rebounding and stock, spots here for him to, maybe pay off a 4X here. Bandogo here, he's another tourney piece, could smash him. He put 32 fantasy points up against Arkansas Pine Bluff. So he's not going to see but 20, 22 minutes, but he could absolutely pay 4X. And 4X is nice tonight. I will say that with the tight pricing here. Connor Hickman, probably a pass for me. The guy that I am interested in as a semi-value piece, the game gets out of hand, Josh Reed at 4,200. He's coming off 20 fantasy points in the Nichols blowout. He should play. It's kind of tough because Day Day's coming back. So, if Day Day's confirmed in, if anybody in the chat knows that, drop that in there. If Day Day's in, I'm probably off this Josh Reed play. If Day Day, last I heard, he was warming up. If he does not play, I'm probably off on this one. So his rates aren't great anyway. I would need the minutes to play this guy. I'd much rather either go with balance builds or pay down at grab some other value from other places. And then on this Northern Kentucky side, 61 points. Like, this is too tough of a Cincinnati defense. I like their long-term look for Cincinnati. This is a cross-off for me. Their top 3 dogs are absolutely too expensive. Vincent, even Etieri is in the mid-tier. I'm not interested in that with this front line. So we'll move on to the Florida A&M plus 32 at Florida, 152. And this kind of reminds me of the Iowa State game yesterday, which we told you guys, like Curtis Jones, Taman Lipsey, those guys went off. Like, it's okay to play those guys. This is kind of the same spot here for Florida, which we'll talk about in a second, but I want to address Florida A&M. 60-point implied total. They do play fast, 109th in tempo. Florida plays even faster, 53rd in tempo. Like, the prices are okay. The problem is they're second in bench minutes. So, like, they're going to hit, everybody in their mom is going to touch the scorer's table here. So maybe I'll get cute on one lineup or two, maybe one of 20 here on Tyler Shirley at 5K. He's out there the most out of these guys, 28 minutes or so. The usage rate isn't anything great, but he can put up a few ancillary stats for you. I think the guy that I'm most interested in that, is not this Trey Lewis 3K play is Sterling Young. He's 4,700. He's 7th in the country in shot rate, 29% usage rate, 21% assist rate, and he's only turning it over at a 9% clip. And when you look at this team in general, they turn it over all the time. They're 337th in turnover percentage. So Sterling Young, definitely for a tournament, I'm slightly interested because Florida wants to get up and down and shoot a bunch of threes and get in transition. So Trey Lewis is the 3K guy. He's played 20-ish minutes in 2 of the 3 games. Usage is 15%. Kind of racking up some assists here, but this is a tough matchup. Doesn't have to do much, and 12 fantasy points, you'd be feeling okay as long as the guys up at the top smash as well. So I may use them in a couple here. It's not that exciting. I'm much more excited about this Florida side. 92 implied total. It's a massive team total. Love the tempo. The stocks are going to be great in this game for Florida. Like I said, Florida A&M, 337th in turnover rate, 336th in opponent block percentage. So everybody on Florida in play for me, except for maybe Walter Clayton, because he has been passive in the 2 games where it was competitive. In the 2 games, he's been passive in the 2 games that were blowouts. He had 41 and 40 in the 2 competitive games, and then in the blowouts against Grambling and Jacksonville, he had 20 and 24. So kind of a no thanks situation. And also because Elijah Martin and Will Richard, they're actually playing minutes even in the blowouts. So Martin's been awesome this year. His floor this year has been 25 fantasy points. He's played 29 minutes in every game, so including the blowouts. So you're going to get your 28, 29 minutes at least. So a sneaky turning option, because if you're like me, a lot of people want to go down to these forwards, and also Will Richard. Will Richards made me a lot of money the first couple of slates here. He's another turning option. He's 7K, so his price is down a little bit. He crushed Grambling and Jacksonville, so talk about a guy that likes to play these Florida A&M type schools. He's played 31 minutes or more in all 4 games, so he's kind of like Martin. Like, he's going to be out there for 30 minutes. It's a terrible team. If he picks up some stocks on some steals, hits some threes, like, he's going to easily pay off 7K. So definitely interested in Martin and Will Richard. Alex Condon and these front court guys, Thomas Half, Condon's 7,200. It's a deep front court. They're going to run 4 guys out there, but he can smash in limited minutes. He's put up 27, 28, 32, 23 fantasy points, all in 23 minutes. So even if he plays 23 minutes, he can get you to that 28 to 32 fantasy point mark. I'll use him as a game stacking piece. Thomas Half as a game stacking piece as well. 4X plus, right there, Grambling, he had 23 fantasy points. He's only going to see 18 to 22 minutes, but he's definitely a turning option. And I'm going to be stacking him with an Elijah Martin or a Will Richard. And then if you want to go all the way down here, Denzel Aberdeen, 4,900, probably not as safe as the forwards, just because they're going to be able to hit this glass, block shots. But he's there. He's capable of 16 to 20 fantasy points. I don't know that I'm going to get there, because I do like Half a lot more, along with Condon and then Martin. And watch it be Walter Clayton night, but that's where I'm at on this Florida side here. So that'll wrap that one up here. Let's make sure we hit that like and subscribe button for the Green Screens Media universe out there. This is one and done. We're doing a live before lock. We got about 16 minutes to go before we get out of here. Ask any questions that you would like here in the chat. And I think we have another 4 games or so to go, three games to go here. So we will absolutely jump into the next game here, which is Hofstra +7 at Florida State. Hofstra is implied for 67 points, and I think the producer in my ear is telling me that may have a special guest here for a few minutes, jumping in here to give his opinion on this particular slate. So I'm not sure if we can bring him up here. Oh, there he is, everyone's favorite, the man, legend, the conductor of the Green Screens Media Train, Mr. Jay Heinrich. What's up, Jay?
Man, I saw an opportunity live before lock, and I could not miss out. I got a massage earlier, working out some kinks. Wasn't feeling it this morning, but feel much better now. And I saw the energy you were bringing to this one, and I wanted to bring some more with it as well. So let's get into Hofstra, Florida State, man.
Yeah, let's do it, man. So this is an interesting game for DFS purposes. Hofstra is 67 implied total. The tempo sucks for them, but this is a pace up with Florida State being at 34th in the country in tempo. The thing that we love is that Hofstra is 359th in bench minutes. So the guys, Jay, that are going to be out there. Florida State is 57th in defensive efficiency. That does hurt that a little bit. But Juan Aranguren is a guard. He's 8,100. High usage rate, high shot rate. The price tag is high, but you can grab rebounds, 38% assist rate. We talked about him over the offseason. But the guy that I'm really interested in for $1,300 cheaper is Cruz Davis. He's 6,800, 22% usage rate, 23% shot rate, 23% assist rate, and a 3% steal rate. Jay, am I doing it wrong here with saving the 1,300 and getting these rates from Davis instead of Aranguren?
On these slates that we've had before today, I would say that you'd have an easier time getting Aranguren, into your lineups. This pricing is super tough, though. Super, super tough. And you got to look to find ways to cut those corners. And cutting $1,300 off of that price tag there for Cruz Davis definitely makes him appealing for sure. Yeah, Aranguren can get you those boards. I mean, that's a part of his game. Obviously, 20% rebound rate to go along with those other outstanding rates that you would expect for a player of his caliber. But I might try to get him in. I'm going to try to fit him in. I got a few shells that I'm going to fire off. I'm going to try to get Aranguren in and Davis as well. TJ Gatson, Sanders as well. Jaquan Sanders.
They'll be out there
in that backcourt. They're going to play. Nobody's playing, man. I mean, the bench. Nobody's playing on the bench.
Yeah.
Right, like you said, we love that 359th in bench minutes. What about Florida State, though, Mike's obviously big-time pace down there, 30th in bench minutes. So 2 things that we don't like when it comes to slotting guys into our lineup here, and maybe not as much to look at for the Seminoles on this slate.
Yeah, 74 implied total, pace down. They play a ton of guys. It's Leonard Hamilton. One guy that's been out there a lot, Malik Ewan, 4,900, the forward, played 31 minutes against Florida. He has a 24% usage rate and a 24% shot rate, and you can grab some rebounds. So slight interest in him. You got the Taylor Bowen went up in price. I'm not interested in paying $6,500 or whatever for him. But Jameer Watkins, 8,700. He's kind of like Broom. If he just plays 35 minutes, I would absolutely play him even in this spot. But he doesn't play 35 minutes. So
Broom got there yesterday in a game that was a pretty big blowout. This one's probably, this is going to be closer. It should be closer. We hope it's closer if we're playing some of these guys, right? And I don't know, Watkins, you can always slot him in. Just if you're feeling like you need to spend up for a guard, I'm never going to tell you not to play Jameer Watkins. So
yeah, absolutely. I don't know that I'm going to recommend it, but he's absolutely a tournament play because he can go for 40. So, he posted 47 last time. He had 35 minutes. The problem is if the game stays close, he might be out there a little bit longer. We just don't know because Leonard Hamilton likes to do Leonard Hamilton things here. So
is Ewan going to play 30 minutes?
Yeah, I don't know, man. I wouldn't be surprised if I click his name and he's out there for 22. Because 11 guys are going to hit the scorer's table, which is always annoying.
Right, and when you're looking for that value, and it's just 4,900 right there on a total of 74, and they've been playing it. That's a guy like you can't go 100% on that guy in your value pool. You got to make sure to mix him in a little bit if you want, but you can't go 100 with him. If it's there and it hits, congrats. But I'm a little bit more concerned about that being the case in this one as well, Mike. One more game. I'm going to stick around, Mike. I'm going to get out of your hair and get into my lineups. Texas A&M Commerce and UConn. Speaking of blowouts, yowza! 143-point implied total here.
Yikes.
But, and, of course, Ken Palm's numbers here. 35 points implied on the spread here. 54. Yeah, with the 5. 54 implied total here for Texas
You telling the people
Commerce.
to play people from here?
And no. Can we get that Bugs Bunny gif where he's just like, no. Best players are in the 5.5K to 6K range. And with this total, Mike, let's cross it off. Don't you think? I mean, let's just cross it off.
Cross it off. I'm not playing anybody from this side.
And Mike, to the same note here, UConn, 89 points implied in the total there, but this is going to be a beatdown, and it's going to be a beatdown from the start. These guys are going to have to get it in early, and the prices are up as well. Coming off of some of these performances, Mike, Caravan 9K.
I mean, if you told me he blocked 7 shots, I would play him for 9K, but
sure,
probably too expensive, man. But I'm all about Liam McNeely, 7,300. I mean, he played 32 minutes in the blowout against Lemoyne. He shoot threes and grab some boards. He's got stock upside. I really like Liam McNeely. I think they want to get him going, and then Solo Ball. The guard here at 6,000, like he can put up big numbers here. Yeah, Cam saying that McNeely seems like blowout proof. Of course, Cam has our notes here locked in as per usual.
That guy,
as you'll probably see McNeely a little bit later in our show.
I noticed some changes on our notes earlier. Cam's got to be in it, don't you think? I mean, he's in our stuff. He's got either that or he's just a very well informed individual. And just like most one-and-done viewers are, to say the least, I would have to imagine. Hey,
what's up, Jason B? What's up, man? Long time.
Hey, we are grinding here. We're happy you're grinding with us, and I was happy to hop on a little bit.
Yeah, absolutely,
on
bro.
The slide before log. Thanks for having me, man. You're doing good
work
as always, man.
Hey, man, let's see those green screens tonight. I want to see it.
Let's get them. Baby. Peace.
We'll holla at you. All right, so hit those like and subscribe buttons. We got about 9 minutes. Always love to have Jay on. You get a little bit of a break from the monotone mic here. Monotone mic. You maybe need to make a shirt with the GSM logo, monotone mic. But anyway, hit the like and subscribe button. Definitely helps your boys out. If you have any questions, let me know. If you have any opinions, toss them out there in them streets there. So we'll move on. 2 more games to cover really quickly. We got UNC Wilmington plus 22 at Kansas. Implied total is 154 per Ken Palm. So looking at it here, UNC Wilmington applied for 66 points, 141st in tempo. Kansas 79th in tempo, so we're going to get up and down a little bit here. Kansas 11th in defensive efficiency, so you don't love that for the Wilmington side. Wilmington 221st in bench minutes, so see a few guys off the bench, but probably not many here. There's some guys to talk about here, man, especially in the front court here. I mean, Sean Moore, he's 4,800. Got the first start of the season last game. His first start, played 31 minutes. 10 points, 9 boards, 2 assists. He's a transfer from Fairleigh Dickinson. We talked about him this offseason. I don't know, man. Like I'm having a tough time clicking the names of these Wilmington guys. Kansas is super deep, and Virginia's going to come in and he's looked great this year when Dickinson's off the court. So. I mean, if you need a value play like Sean Moore, like he's gonna project out decently for 30 minutes. I don't know. I'd be careful here. Donovan Newby, he is 6,400. He's a guard. He leads the team in usage, 27.5% shot rate. Probably crossing off the guards here. Newby, Noah Ross, 5,200. Probably not doing it. Here. And honestly, like it's hard to have a lot of interest in this game when you look at the Kansas side, 88 implied total. UNC Wilmington 215th in defensive efficiency. The pricing, it kind of reminds me of UConn. Like it's almost like a one-off scenario and like a pray for, at least 3.5x if Hunter Dickinson's 10-5. Or if you think the game's close, you have to absolutely stack it if you think the starters are out there for 30 minutes because somehow Wilmington keeps this close. then you better have a large game stack on this. And Dickinson would be at play then, but at 10-5, like yikes on that price. I mean, he's a tournament option because we know he has 40 fantasy point upside. They're going to get so many guys on the court in this one, I believe. So kind of tough to pay that price. Zeke Mayo, his role obviously continues to point upwards. That price at 7,600 is really scary. The thing you like is he was getting boards and assists in the last game, the last couple of games, but not shooting the ball great. So if he does shoot it well, like he's definitely in play even at 7,600, but for tournaments only. I was hoping for AJ Storr to be like right at 5K, right at 4.8. He's only gonna play 20 minutes, but like he's gonna be aggressive. He's gonna take his shots. Problem is he doesn't provide a lot in ancillary production. He did have 2 boards and 3 assists in the last game, and that's kind of like the max for AJ Storr. So 5,300 for him is pretty tough. So I don't know that I can get to a lot of these Kansas guys. It seems kind of ugly to do it. So I'm not gonna have a lot of exposure in this game. If you wanted to have exposure, you better stack it. You better put one of these forwards on the Wilmington side with like a Donovan Newby, and you better bring it back with Dickinson and Mayo or something like that. But that's just kind of go ahead. If you beat me, I'll tip my cap, and we'll move on to the final game here. Purdue +1 at Marquette, 151 implied total. I think it's 151. I think it might have moved. So we'll see here. So Purdue. Price hike on the studs. Purdue is 304th in tempo this year, playing slower without Edey. Marquette's going to pace them up, 94th in tempo. And I watched the Maryland Marquette game, and yes, some interesting things happened in that game. Maryland couldn't play the 2 bigs, Reese, so Reese had to sit the bench, and they just went with with Derek Queen at center and a bunch of guards around him. So I think being at home here, Marquette can do the same thing to Purdue because Purdue tries to put these guys that are out there that are 7-2, and it may just be TKR who is going to ban that 5 spot for most of the game. But Braden Smith, we have to start with him. He's 10-4. That's a scary price point, but we know he's good. I'd play him in cash if you can find a value play that you feel somewhat confident in. The rates are crazy for him. This is a really good spot for him, even though this is a tough defense. Marquette 23rd in defensive efficiency, and they always have guards that are tough. So I don't know how much Braden Smith exposure I'm going to get to. Maybe a 15%. Much more interested in Trey Kaufman-Renn, even though you're paying $2,000 more, $8,500. So Trey Kaufman-Renn could easily double in this one. It's just one of those things. Do you want to pay for the guy at the very top of his price point? I don't know, but he's going to have Ben Gold on him, and he should be able to have his way. And like I said, he could play a lot of the 5 spot minutes tonight when Bird runs out there for 6 minutes and then gets taken out, and they bring in someone like Heidi to play the 4. So speaking of Heidi, 4,200, I'm very interested. So he came off the bench against Bama, 5 points, 8 boards, and assists, had a stop. Solid interest if he's going to play 22 to 24 minutes. And Cam Heidi, 4,200, also a lot of interest if Purdue decides they need to run 3 guards out there because Marquette is playing Ross and Jones and Mitchell, and they want to get Miles Colvin out there at 4K. I know he burned all of us that Bama game, but price is at 4K, and this can be an up and down guard type of game, and Miles Colvin is definitely someone that can pay off a 4X price tag at $4,000 here. So yes, I do have interest in Miles Colvin as well. On the Marquette side, Cam Jones sitting here at 9,500. He's been doing more than just scoring, which is why I'm not completely scared off by the price tag. His assist rate is way up. He's scoring at will. He's playing tons of minutes. Even when he's in foul trouble, he's going to be out there. So Cam Jones, if you can find the money to pay for Cam Jones, pay for Cam Jones. David Joplin at 6,900, kind of a floor play. I don't get too excited when he's at this price point. If he's at 5,900, I'm much more interested in tournaments. Chase Ross, who looks like Cam likes here, 6,800. Still feels about $500 too expensive for Chase Ross, but an excellent tournament play for sure, as well as Ben Gold is an excellent tournament play at 4,500, even though he's only going to play 20 to 24 minutes. He's completely been hit or miss, right? So With Ben Gold, could give you 7 fantasy points, or he can give you 20. So I will be sprinkling in a little bit of Ben Gold because sometimes Purdue does like to try to play bigger. We'll see if Marquette has to match that at all. And he can pull these bigs out and shoot the three. So, slight interest in tournaments for Ben Gold as well. Got a couple more minutes before we get out of here, guys. If you have any questions out there last minute, need the last guy in, help on a 2v2 swap, I want to know some of my favorite plays in whatever range, just let me know. Hit the subscribe button so you can drop those questions in the chat. Appreciate you guys joining me, as well as the conductor of the Green Screens Media ship coming in tonight, Mr. Jay Heinrich and Eric pushing buttons. Our boy Nate C. Hustle grinding. We'll be on Spaces tomorrow talking about college basketball and the non-DFS stuff. So if you want to hear us talk about that, join that as well over on X. For a core four, this is really not like a concerted effort to have 4 guys to just jam in every single lineup. This is going to be, if you're mass multi-entering, you're going to be rotating a bunch of guys. Single entry, you'd want to look for the floor, but this is just a core 4 of pieces that I really like here. We'll start with Micah Parrish here from Ohio State. I do like his ability to produce some stocks as well as rebounds and shoots a 3. He is in that very nice spot against Evansville. So if you don't like Parrish and you want to pay down for Michi Johnson, you could use him as a core piece. Or if you want to get Bradshaw in there, use him as a core piece as well. So really any of the Ohio State mid-tier pieces are going to be a staple of every single lineup. And sometimes in my lineups, 2 of them. Also, Liam McNeely sitting here. Cam mentioned it earlier. I love him. If he's going to play 30 minutes in this type of environment, shoot a lot of threes, can grab boards, will block a shot or 2. Absolutely going to be playing some Liam McNeely here. Cruz Davis, just the rates are too good. It's a pace-up spot against Florida State. He's going to be on the floor for 35-plus minutes, so love me some Cruz Davis here. And then I'm going after Elijah Martin or Will Richard. They're going to be a staple of most of my tournament lineups because they are going to be on the floor a lot. They're 30 minutes even in blowouts, and they take a lot of shots. That can produce ancillary stats because Florida A&M is going to turn the ball over a ton. So, yeah, I think one of these guys is going for 5X at least. That leaves you with 57.50 left. So do what you will with that. PrizePicks, we'll jump it over here. Just got a couple of them to mention here. TKR here, 22.5 points plus rebounds. I do like that. He's going to play 35 minutes in this one. I just hate the price tag on DK, but I'm going to have to get him in a few lineups, so I'm not completely missing the boat here. So some TKR at 22.5. And then I had one other one that I had jotted down. Let me look at it here. I believe it was under points. And it was – I do like Jackson Robinson to go over 12 points. I do like him to hit, somewhere around 3 threes tonight, get him going. So it feels like this is a good spot for him to kind of bounce back. So Jackson Robinson, the 12 points. I do like the over on that one as well. Cool. So that'll do it here. Man, appreciate you guys joining. Hope to see everybody at the top of the leaderboard. And make sure you hit the like and subscribe button. We'll be back in the next couple of days. It seems like we're doing shows every couple of days or so. So for myself at MC Allen 34, our guy Jay Heinrich, the conductor of the Green Screens Media ship, for Eric Roma pushing buttons, and for my boy Nate C. Hustle doing his thing at the top of the leaderboards over the past couple of weeks. Just want to say, let's get this bread.
Thanks for stopping by the office. Get your fantasy prescription by subscribing to the channel and checking out drroto.com. And until the next visit, be well and take care.